Hello, this is Dividend Growth UK and I'm David. For anyone that is new to the channel, let me say welcome. And to those who continue to return and watch each episode, I'd like to say a big thank you. If you're not already subscribed, well, you know the crack. I'm not going to repeat what everyone already asks you to do. So, 6 months into the year, and my ISA has paid me £6,421.73 in dividends. That's the headline number. Let's get into how it happened, what changed, and whether I'm actually hitting the targets I set myself. So let's look at the shape of this. January, February, March, all under £1,000. And from April through June, every single month clears £1,000. That's not an accident. That's new positions maturing, dividends compounding, and the portfolio doing what it's supposed to do. Compare that to the same 6 months of last year, and the growth is stark. First half of 2025, this ISA paid me £3,699. This year, it's £6,421. That's an increase of 73.6% year on year. Some of that's new capital going in. Some of it's the portfolio simply maturing. January last year paid me absolutely nothing. Now this account's come a long way in 12 months, but here's an honesty check-in on the £1,000 a month goal. Average is 6 months out and I'm there. £1,070 a month on average. But averages can lie. Physically, month by month, only April, May and June actually cleared £1,000 on their own. 3 out of 6. So depending on how strict you want to hold me to my own target, I'm either already there or still building towards it landing every single month. The portfolio's moved. 5 new names came in this half: Primary Health Properties, International Public Partnerships, London Metric, and 2 of the covered call ETPs, AVGI and NVDD. I'll be honest about AVGI and NVDD. They've taken a hammering since I opened those positions, but that's not really about these 2 specifically. The whole sector's taken a bit of a hit. The question I keep asking myself is whether that's the bubble bursting or whether there's still life left in this corner of the market. Honestly, I don't know. That's exactly why these are small satellite positions and not core holdings. 3 positions closed out completely. Vodafone and Bank of Georgia are gone, and SSE was sold and sold well. SSE was bought at a cost of £11,126. Sold for £13,294. That's a capital gain of £2,168. And if we add in the £1,495 it paid me in dividends while I held it, the total return on that position comes to £3,663. Proof that selling isn't always the wrong call when the price is right and the reasons are right. And I also trimmed 3 positions without closing them out. Sainsbury's, Rio Tinto and BP all had partial reductions this half. No dividend cuts and no surprises across the ISA this half. Every holding that was expected to pay, paid. Now let's talk share price briefly. And I do mean briefly because this ISA isn't a growth account. It's an income account, but it's worth a quick look. 2 winners this half, close enough that neither gets the top billing. And these aren't small positions either. Similar size, similar move, both pulling real weight. And then we have the biggest faller, which was Persimmon, down 22.8%. A house builder in a half where the whole sector had rate sensitivity working against it. I'm not panicking over 6 months of share price noise, but it's the biggest mover in either direction across the ISA, so it earns a mention. Of this year's £20,000 ISA allowance, I've funded £12,366 so far. That leaves £7,633 to find before April of 2027. Everything so far has been about income. The dividends landing in my account, but the dividends aren't the whole picture. 6 months ago, this ISA was worth £159,119. Today, it's £189,519. Before I get carried away, some of that jump is new money I've put in, not investment performance. Strip that out and the actual return price gains, profit from sales and dividends combined comes to £23,156. That's 14.55%. on what I started the year with. Here's a bit of strategy behind the numbers. I knew a workplace pension transfer, roughly £49,000, was coming into my SIP at some point this year. With that landing and 14 years still left to run at around 5% income target, I didn't feel the need to keep funding the SIP directly myself. So the tax relief I received on my SIP contributions, I took and funded the ISA with instead. Now the ISA, as I've mentioned before, is Project Porsche, and it's retire me as soon as possible. So right now, that's where I believe the money is better served. Now I've still got a fair lump of my ISA still to fund until April next year. And spread across the months I've got left, filling that remaining allowance works out at roughly £1,200 and £72 a month. And I'll be honest, that's a tough number for me to hit, but I'll be trying, using whatever's left over from salary at the end of each month to push toward it. So 6 months in, average versus actual, which one would you hold yourself to? Let me know in the comments. So that's the first half of 2026 in review. I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.